Tonight, the next time you turn on a tap and fill a glass with clean water, take a second to think about what just happened. That simple act, something you do without a second thought, was once one of the most dangerous gambles a human being could make. For most of human history, drinking the wrong water could kill you. Not eventually, sometimes within days. And the worst part, nobody knew why. There were no germs in their vocabulary, no microscopes, no idea that something invisible could be hiding in a perfectly clear stream. So how did ancient civilizations actually figure out how to drink safely? The answer involves lead pipes, boiled tea, sacred rituals, and a river that both fed and slaughtered an empire. Let's start with the Romans. They built aqueducts that carried water for miles, some of which still stand today, nearly 2,000 years later. Public fountains lined their cities, and clean water became a symbol of power. The more water flowing through your city, the more advanced and civilized you appeared to the rest of the world. But here's the catch. Their pipes were made of lead. The Latin word for lead is plumbum, which is where we get the word plumbing. Wealthy Romans, the ones with the best access to piped water, may have been slowly poisoning themselves for centuries without ever knowing it. Some historians even argue that lead exposure contributed to declining health among the Roman elite. And it wasn't just pipes. Romans also used lead to sweeten wine, boiling grape juice in lead pots to create a syrup called differtum. The very technology that made them feel advanced was quietly working against them. In Egypt, life depended entirely on the Nile. It was the only reliable water source for an entire civilization, but was also full of sediment, parasites, and disease, especially during flood season when the water turned thick and brown. So the Egyptians improvised. They strained water through cloth to remove debris, and they discovered that a mineral called alum, when dropped into murky water, would cause the dirt to clump and sink to the bottom. It's one of the earliest known forms of water filtration, thousands of years before anyone called it science. Egyptian medical texts even describe these techniques in detail, treating clean water as a matter of survival, not luxury. Meanwhile, in ancient China, a habit was forming that would quietly save millions of lives. Boiling water before drinking it. The practice likely began for taste and ritual reasons, but it had an enormous unintended side effect. Boiling kills the very organisms that make water dangerous. Mixed with tea, it became part of daily life across the region. Nobody understood germs yet. They just knew boiled water tasted better and made people sick less often. By accident, ancient China created one of the most effective public health practices in human history, one that modern science wouldn't fully explain for thousands of years. But not every civilization had engineers or boiling rituals. Most communities relied on something far simpler. A shared well, dug by hand, often becoming the literal center of village life, where news spread as much as water did. For others, getting water meant walking for miles to a river every single day, often more than once, a chore that could consume hours of a person's life. And without any way to know if that water was safe, waterborne disease became one of the leading causes of death for thousands of years, quietly killing far more people than war ever did. When you turn on a tap today, you're not just getting water. You're getting the end result of thousands of years of trial, error, accidental discovery, and yes, a fair amount of death. We've engineered away a danger our ancestors faced every single day, to the point we don't even think about it anymore. No boiling, no straining, no risky walk to a river. So tonight, when you fill that glass, look at it with a little more respect, because clean water was never simple. It was earned.